All right, day 7. We are getting in flow of this thing, talking to the camera, journey, 30 days. Day 7. What I want to talk about today. Um, Big thing that was on my mind today as I was doing some research in the realm of AI, career development, vision, casting, just getting really clear on certain parameters as far as making sure every step I'm taking is aligned with whatever I'm really being called towards. I don't know what that means. Very vague and mystique on purpose. But just the importance as a man of not getting caught up in this cycle of comparison up here in the mind. Because when that happens, the feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, or just in general, this feeling that you're not enough or maybe not yet capable of something ends up just clouding the mind like a poison. And to be fair, months ago, if I found myself in a cycle like that, because I had a time where things got real dark, real dark. But if I find myself in a cycle like that, I wouldn't know how to pull myself out because I just couldn't get distance from it. So there's a couple things I've been doing recently, not just recently, but just in general for a long time that have helped me distance myself from problems that come up in the mind, which really are just a distortion of what reality is. Because when I really sit here and just breathe, and I listen to the cars going by outside the apartment complex, up and down the road, or I look at this piece of artwork over here, or this picture frame, or this book, everything's okay. In that moment, everything's okay. And if I can sit with that perspective, I can operate from a much more optimal way for what that's worth. So, journaling is one thing because there's nothing more beautiful, in my opinion, than taking out a journal, stream of consciousness writing 3, 4, 5 pages, maybe even 1 page. Maybe it's just a paragraph, but just getting out on paper whatever's bothering you or whatever has you stuck in this thought loop. Because once it's out on paper, now it's crystallized and you can see it physically. And once it's there physically, you immediately, by default, have distance from it. And you can look at it objectively. And I think that's what the problem is typically when you find yourself in the thought loop, is that you just keep like compounding bad thought on bad thought, inadequacy on top of inadequacy. So once you do that, boom, you have distance. And now the thought's out of your mind. Maybe it'll peep up again, but it'll have less power over you simply because you now are aware, fully aware of what it is. That's one. The other one would be meditation. Matter of fact, I should have put that as number one, truly. But I've found though, it can be difficult to get into flow with meditation, especially as the day goes on. If you don't do it first thing in the morning, if you're stuck in a thought loop and then you try and get into meditation, it can almost feel like a session where you're sitting there just over analyzing that same thought over and over again. Hence why we'll keep it at number 2. That's fine. But meditation, just the act of just sitting there, breathing, the intent's not to just sit there and think. If you end up thinking on things, you don't beat yourself up for it. You just sit and breathe. And over time, it's not like a day one, boom, my life's changed. It's not even a week long, boom, my life's changed. But over time, there have been studies on this of how it affects the brain's gray matter and expands that over time. Where you then, at least for me, start to realize or capture yourself when thoughts are coming around and you're getting stuck on certain thoughts too much, it helps you to be put in a position where you can just observe versus just being taken for a ride with every single thought. So it helps tame the monkey mind. That's another piece. The other piece, then, beyond that, the third one is exercise. Cardio, getting in the gym. I love to get in the gym 5 to 6 times a week. That works for me. Doesn't have to be crazy long sessions, but anything to move your body. Because when you move your body, it kind of helps you move out of your mind down here and into the present. And you have to pay attention to the things around you or what you're moving in the first place. So those three things together is something that has really helped when it comes to finding foundation and finding your base again. And when I'm coming from that place, going back to the thought of comparison, it moves me out of that thought loop of comparison and inadequacy so much. I'm not perfect by any means. I still deal with this from time to time. I even dealt with it earlier today. But the difference is how long I stay in that zone of the crazy negative thought loop, whatever you want to call it, versus snapping myself out of it back into a more empowered state and being able to act from there and have conversations from there. Because when I'm not there, I'm not me. And if I'm not me, I'm not effective. So this has been day 7 of the 30 days of talking to the camera journey. And until tomorrow, we'll keep it live.